Welcome to Tavetta Talks. I am Tavetta, founder of Abundant Life Publications. Today, we're talking about entrepreneurship with Collette Edwards. She is the founder of Forward Excel. Thank you so much for being here and welcome, Collette.
Thank you, Tavetta. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. So I want to begin with your why. Tell us what year your company was founded and why you started your company.
Okay, so Forward Excel was actually established in 2015, and it was birthed out of a project for my master's degree. So I got my master's in communication from Purdue, and my committee was so gracious. Instead of doing a thesis statement, that super long paper that's like 30 pages long with 8 weeks of research, they just said, Collette, create a project. At the time, I was working full time and teaching for 2 colleges. And so I took that permission and ran. And so that is how Forward Excel was designed. It was a business, a project, which turned into the business that it is today. And they said they wanted a draft of documents, they wanted business cards. And so that's how it was created.
That is awesome. So congratulations on your starting. What is your why today? Like, why do you keep going?
Thank you, Tavetta. So in terms of my why, I continue in business because it allows me to be creative. And I really enjoy developing content. I was talking with my husband earlier today, and he said, like, what is your happy place? And I thought about it, and it's when I'm creating, when I can just sit at the computer, have no timer on, and just think and develop. It's a space where I can be unique, and just that's where the ideas evolve.
That is so awesome. And that is so you, I might add. I would like to know, how did you know you could start a business? Like, did you see other entrepreneurs in your family or in your community when you were a child? Or how did you know you could start a business?
Well, in the family, entrepreneurship really wasn't discussed a lot. So I come from a family of hardworking people. And as I got older, I learned that some of my uncles and aunts own property. But that was the extent of business entrepreneurship as I knew it. But my former church had a very strong entrepreneurship focus. And that's where I learned that I have skills, I have talent. So in another life, I worked as a speech therapy assistant, and I lost that position. It was, we need to get the budget together, and I was newest on the hiring list, so I was the first to get cut. And in that process, I had a second job, so I was able to make ends meet, but I started to use my skills, my writing skills, my design skills, making flyers for some of the leaders or entrepreneurs within the church, and they paid me for it. And they would say, Collette, you need a business. You need to go into business for yourself. And it began to encourage me. And just all the while from about 2007 up to 2015, I would create projects for people, contracts, just various things. But in 2015, that's where I said, I need to make this official. I got that advice from my former mentor, who's also a lawyer. She said, Collette, just go ahead and get an LLC. And I just looked some things up online. And with under $500, Tavetta, I was able to establish an LLC in 2015. And that's how Forward Excel got started.
I love the story of your journey. I would like to know, what do you enjoy most about entrepreneurship?
I enjoy the freedom to be creative.
Yes.
And the freedom to set my boundaries. When you work for an organization, there's room to be creative, but not as much as in entrepreneurship, because on the corporate side, it's policies, it's guidelines, deadlines, other priorities. But on the entrepreneurship side, just the freedom to just have the limit and creating whatever I want, coming up with ideas. For example, this background that you see behind me, I created this. Now we're in Zoom, virtual everything. Sometimes people will, have various backgrounds or, not be able to hide that dresser drawer. I said, let me create something. So I just took the logo from the business and added some images in and went to a local print shop, and they created a foam board for me. Then I bought an easel to post it. So whenever I do things for the business, I just put this up. So nobody has to look at the, arm guard behind, but just it's like almost a high to be creative. I'm like, wow, I'm so thankful for this. So I'm thankful for the opportunity because the ideas, they keep coming.
Yes, that's beautiful, Collette. So let's talk about where we've been. The year 2020, that was quite an interesting year. How did your business survive last year?
Well, Tavetta, Ford Excel was not negatively impacted at all.
Mhm.
I'm so thankful for that because the type of work that I do, writing, all I need is the internet and my computer and just a place to save documents. So I was able to continue working. And what was so interesting, in the end of 2020, I got some requests for book editing. So basically from December up until May, I had been editing books for various authors. And I'm so thankful that I was able to do that right from the comfort of home.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I want to look forward now. What are your next business goals?
My next business goals is to establish a scholarship for college students, for those young people who are in college and just may need a little extra money for books or a course or something school related. And then also to establish a property, have a commercial site in the local Northwest Indiana area. I think that will give Ford Excel greater community reach and also be a place to invite people to come in, collaborate, and let's be creative.
Well, I am cheering for you, Collette, for all of those goals to be reached because you make a positive difference in what you do. So thank you for all that you've done thus far and your forward vision. I know you, but I want to know, how would you describe you so that the viewing audience can get to know you?
First of all, I identify as an instructor. I am a servant. I am a teacher. I'm a leader. That's who I am in just 4 words. And I'm thankful that much of my career and business experience has allowed me to assume those labels and just bring them in as my identity.
Excellent. So you're being modest. I think you're very brilliant and multi-talented is a way that I would describe you. A quiet but powerful leader is how I would describe you. And you've accomplished a lot. So I celebrate you. And that's why I wanted to interview so that people can get to know who you are and what you do. I would like to know, what do you hope to leave as your legacy?
So with Ford Excel, and I'm just going to pretend it's like 50 years later, I'd like to just leave a legacy of published documents, of items that people can look up, put in their hands and read, or download and read, tangible items that reflect the help that I hope to be able to give to people, the space to allow people to be creative and make a difference. I like also the legacy to be in the form of property and a place where people can come to, again, be creative, a safe place. I like it to be in the form of funds to help continue the name of Ford Excel, just to help people, young people, entrepreneurs, continue to be creative and successful.
I want to talk about having a motivated mindset as it relates to business. And so you've taken the steps to start. What would you say to motivate someone else to start their business?
I would tell that person to take what they love to do and turn it into a business. Take that passion and turn it into a stream of income. And what I like about our country is that there's always room for more businesses because we're going to always have various needs. You have talent, you know what you care about, meet the need.
Awesome advice. So they've taken your advice. They started the business. What do you do on a daily basis to stay motivated?
Well, personally, what I do, I love to listen to my favorite faith leaders. Just for, inspiration and spiritual grounding. But also I like to listen to my favorite leaders, people who are in entrepreneurship, people who are in technology, writing, communication, just to hear their stories, to hear their strategies. For example, I'm actually listening to Booker T. Washington's autobiography. So I love history. I love African American history. He's one of my favorite educators and leaders. And even though his story was written years ago, I'm still getting insight. The principles of leadership, the principles of success. So to me, it's very important to take content in. It's like free teaching. We can turn on the YouTube, turn on an audio book, just get insight, listen to something for 30 minutes a day. And it makes all the difference because that's where the ideas come in. And also it's a way to invest in ourselves.
That is so true. Well, I thank you for sharing your wisdom. I pray for your continued success and progress. I thank you for your time because time is such a valuable asset.
I thank you, Tavetta. It was an honor to be here.